Hey guys, welcome back to Buy This Not That, and today we have the ultimate Japanese showdown. All right, this is the axe. Let's go! Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Nick. Today we're pitting a couple Japanese super strat guitars against each other to see which one gives you more metal for your money, because everything's expensive nowadays. The stock features that I'm about to show you on these guitars are really impressive and offer a lot to the potential buyer to justify their cost. We're talking about the Ibanez Prestige RGR5130 and the Jackson MJ Series Soloist SL2. These guitars both come in at around $2,300 and really appeal to the Riffmaster or Shredmeister, and they're really just all-around metal guitars. Per usual, we take a look at a few crucial things to include construction, hardware, electronics, tremolo, and the overall appearance. All right, so let's start with construction, my dudes. Both of these guitars rock 24 frets, 25.5-inch scale, and are an HH pickup design. Now, the Ibanez Prestige body is crafted with basswood or basswood, whatever you want to call it. So basswood is a soft tone wood with minimal grain, and I'd say it produces muscular mid-range, if that makes any sense. In regards to its neck construction, the Ibanez Prestige kind of goes along the lines with a lot of the other RGs. This is a bolt-on neck construction design. The neck is a Super Wizard 5-piece maple and wenge neck, and if you look at it from the back, man, this thing is gorgeous. Also, this guitar has no scarf joint, which means it's continuously one piece of wood throughout the whole neck going in through the headstock. You can see that on the back. Those darker colored pieces of wood extend all the way through the headstock. Now, the feeling of this neck is really awesome. It's got that satin finish on the back, so there's really no like sticky lacquer or gloss to get your fingers stuck. You guys seem to be pretty concerned about that in the comments, so there you go. Now, something I look for in guitars when I buy them or do these reviews is where the truss rod adjustment is. In this Ibanez Prestige, it's located at the headstock, which is a pretty traditional design. It's just not as nice as having like the spoke adjustment at the heel, but I don't think Ibanez makes many guitars, if any, with the spoke adjustment at the heel. Continuing with the neck, don't let me forget, this bad boy comes with lumen lay side dots, which gives you some illumination of those dots and the fret markers if you're in low light or on stage. Okay, something that I think is often overlooked on guitars when they're reviewed is the heel construction. The Ibanez comes with a rounded contoured heel, which is a nice touch for a bolt-on guitar. It does give you better access to those higher frets. Now, getting to the fretboard, this guitar rocks a Macassar ebony fretboard with 24 jumbo stainless steel frets. It's always a nice touch when guitar brands add stainless steel frets to their guitars to really improve the longevity. I know some of you have had to have fret dressings and replace frets because of cheap nickel frets. The fretboard radius on the Ibanez is 17 inches all the way through. It's not a compound radius, so it's going to be a little bit more flat and appeal to the shredder than compared to, say, a Strat or a Les Paul. Last but not least, I always love to cover the countries that these guitars are made in, and since this is an Ibanez Prestige, the RGR5130 is made by Fujigen for Ibanez in Japan. All right, moving on to the Jackson MJ Series Soloist SL2. This guitar has that signature Jackson body that's made with alder tone wood. Alder is a really balanced tone wood that has a very dense grain, which is a good choice for clarity. Now, being that this is a Jackson Soloist, this is actually a neck-through construction, meaning the piece of wood of the neck extends all the way through the guitar body. Really, the body of the guitar is just two alder wings that are attached to the actual neck centerpiece. The neck-through construction is one of the main differences between the Soloist and the Jackson Dinky, and if you have any questions about the differences between those two models, I did a video. I'll put a card up here and a link in the description. Continuing on with the neck construction of the MJ Soloist, it is a 3-piece maple neck, and it utilizes a scarf joint to get that nice angle and that signature position of the Jackson headstock. Now, if you flip the guitar around and look at the neck, you can see it has an extension of the glossy finish from the body, which is very nice and elegant, looks clean, but it also can be a little sticky, and for shredders, sometimes that's not ideal. Similar to the Ibanez, the MJ Jackson comes with lumen lay side dots, which is awesome. And then the fretboard is actually just ebony, has 24 frets, and is a 12 to 16 inch compound radius. The compound radius on the Jackson gives you a more round, comfy feeling at the lower frets and becomes more flat and, shred worthy at the higher frets as you go up. Now, taking a look at the heel of the guitar, well, there's not much to look at because that's one of the benefits of a Jackson Soloist. It really doesn't have a heel because of that neck through design. There's not like a chunk of a heel that you have to kind of work around to get to the higher frets. There's nothing bolted on there. And also similar to the Ibanez, the truss rod adjustment is at the headstock, and this guitar is made in Japan at Jackson's Japanese headquarters. All right, moving on to hardware. Okay, starting at the top, the RGR5130 has black satin Goto non-locking tuning machine heads, which is what you'd expect from Ibanez Japanese made models. It also has that color matched edge locking nut and string retainer bar. Now, coming all the way down to the body, I always like to look at how the pickups are mounted, and on this RGR, they're directly mounted to the pick guard. This is great because there are no pickup rings to be found. Those things are just so ugly. Now, there are two knobs on this guitar, a volume and a tone, and they look great in that dome style and black satin finish. Now, something I like to cover in these videos that I feel like matters to a lot of players but isn't really talked about is the location of the volume knob in relation to your playing hand. I tend to accidentally turn the volume knob down while I'm playing if the volume knob is too close to the bridge pickup or the bridge, and on this Ibanez, it is pretty close to that area. Now, this isn't a deal breaker by any means. It's definitely something you can modify or adjust, but just for you to consider, I put it in this video. Lastly, this bad boy comes standard with a hard shell case, which, I mean, it's the least Ibanez could do at this price point, am I right? All right, moving on to the MJ Soloist. At the top, this bad boy comes with black sealed die-cast Goto non-locking tuning machines, keeping true to the Japanese theme of this guitar. There is a matching R3 style locking nut that has black hardware. And coming down to the body, these pickups are direct mounted to the body. Having pickups mounted to the body just looks so clean, and some people do say that it does improve sustain or tone, especially if you use a pickup mounting system. In regards to the knobs, the MJ Soloist rocks two dome style black knobs, and the volume knob is actually a little bit more to the rear of the guitar, which might give your playing hand just a little bit more room. Now, does this guitar come with a case? Yes, but it is a foam core case. It's not really a hard shell. So it's basically a gig bag with some really sturdy, good foam in there to protect your guitar. I mean, at least Jackson gives you a case at this price point. I don't think it's anything more to discuss. Okay, moving on to electronics, which I'm really excited about because both of these guitars come with stock pickups that are really impressive. The Ibanez packs a punch by coming with not one, but two Fishman Fluence modern active pickups. These are active pickups, meaning they need a power source, which is a 9-volt battery that's installed in the back of the guitar. You can see this cavity right here. These Fishmans are super popular in the metal world right now, offering strong overdrive and over-the-top aggressive tone. Interestingly, the Fishmans have a voicing switch, which is located in between the two knobs. This switch allows you to modify the tone of the pickups by switching to an active, higher output sound to a more clean, crisp, passive sound. Overall, you're gonna get some high-performing pickups with the Fishman Fluence Moderns, although some players do say that over time they become a little too much and, you know, kind of limits to what they can do down in their signal chain. All right, now let's take a look at the MJ Jackson. This rocks a passive set of pickups with the coveted JBTB4 in the bridge and the Jazz SH2N in the neck. So like I've said in prior videos, this pickup set is actually pretty funny because it's not like the overdriven Fishmans or EMGs that the metal community craves. They're actually kind of pickups that metal artists later in their career utilize just because of the versatility and ease of use. The SH2N is a mid to high output humbucker that's really designed for clarity of neck leads and rhythm. The Jackson comes with a 3-way toggle switch to navigate the different sounds and tones of these pickups. And honestly, the versatility of these pickups are really unrivaled when it comes to setting up your metal tone or overall signature sound. What you can do natively with these pickups and down your signal chain really makes this a good buy and good value if you're looking for a passive pickup pair. All right, now moving on to tremolos, which you all know is my favorite. The Ibanez Prestige, of course, comes with an Ibanez branded tremolo that's made by Goto for Ibanez. This guitar comes with the Low Pro Edge, the more ergonomic cousin to the original tried and true Ibanez Edge tremolo. The Ibanez Edge is awesome because it sits so flush to the body and you can adjust the saddle screws right next to the saddle rather than those really long screws that protrude under the fine tuning screws. Many people say that Ibanez Edge tremolos are the best ones on the market. I do a deep dive into the Ibanez Edge in a video here. I'll put the card up here and a link in the description if you are interested. And lastly, like most Ibanez trems, this tremolo comes with a pop-in arm that's retained with plastic bushings. All right, moving on to the Jackson MJ Soloist. This bad boy comes with the classic Gotoh GE 1996T, which is really known for its value and performance. This trem is a crowd favorite, and for good reason, because it's made with entirely out of hardened steel and with the known quality of Japanese-made products. The Gotoh trem is a more classic Floyd Rose kind of design, but it also does have a pop-in tremolo arm a lot like the Ibanez Edge. But I mean, there's gonna be a ton of similarities because both the trims on these guitars are made by Gotoh. Simply put, both of the trims on each of these guitars are phenomenal, and you can't go wrong with either. All right, now let's move on to appearance, because we all know the key to playing good is looking good. Both of these guitars have that super strap body, which exploded in the 80s and became super popular. The Ibanez Prestige has those signature super sharp horns, which have been a metal staple since 1987. This guitar comes in two awesome finishes to include the khaki metallic and gray metallic, which both of these finishes really make the guitar pop, and you know you are owning a metal guitar. Now the RGR does have a pickguard, which stays pretty true to the kind of original RG design, but what's different than the original design is the reversed headstock. This is an awesome variation because it does add a little bit of flair, and it makes this guitar special for this year and model. Lastly, the Ibanez has some good looking inlays because they're the offset dots, which just scream shredder guitar, but is also subtle and elegant, so it's kind of a mix of both worlds. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, the black hardware looks really good with both finishes, and honestly the black satin finish looks really a lot better than the white and black kind of dial knobs you get on the regular like RG5130s. It looks nice. Now moving on to the MJ Jackson, the body style and the horns are a little bit more subtle than the Ibanez, but it's that soloist and dinky body that we've all grown to love. The Jackson also comes in two finishes, but that is snow white and gloss black. Yep, black and white. No funny business here. Now, depending on what you like, this guitar has those direct mounted pickups and no pickguard, which is really nice and clean if that's something you're looking for. The white and black contrast of the snow white version of this guitar is really sleek and looks clean, and it makes everything that's black, like the hardware and everything, pop. It's really noticeable. Now up at the top, we have none other than the signature Jackson headstock, which, if you look closely, has a black binding around it. That thing is nice. And lastly, the MJ Jackson comes with shark fin inlays, which is a nice break from just regular dot inlays that so many guitars have. All right, we've made it to the decision, but this isn't gonna be easy because both of these guitars offer so much in regards to stock specs and features. Unfortunately, there can only be one that reigns supreme and gives you more metal for your money. Drum roll, please. I gotta go against my better judgment here, and I know it's not what you expected, but I have to choose the Jackson MJ Series Soloist SL2. But hold on, here's why. I'll be honest with you, the bulk of my decision came from the versatility of the pickups that come with the Jackson as opposed to the Ibanez. For me, having a passive set with a high output humbucker that I can modify and adjust with my signal chain down the line, that was a more fitting choice for me. Secondly, the neck through design at this price point is really up my alley, as I'm kind of like a shredder and a lead player. Any type of heel that adds bulk and anything I have to work around is really not ideal, and that's what the Ibanez has. Trust me, it was really hard to turn down the Ibanez with, the edge bridge, the reverse headstock, and the awesome RG look. But I want to hear from you guys. What would you choose? And if you own any of these guitars, let us know in the comments. All right, that's a wrap on this video. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any videos like this. All right, later.